Peace, everybody, once again. It's nigga Abducted. I got another story for y'all. I'll tell y'all about the time I died and came back at the age of 14. I was on my way back from New Orleans. It was late. I had missed the bus that I was supposed to catch that was supposed to bring me home, so I had to do a lot of walking this night. A lot of walking. I'm gonna make a long story short. I walked from New Orleans all the way to Metairie, but before I got to Metairie, I was jumped by a whole gang of niggas. Whole gang of niggas from New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? And they got me under the bridge where Tulane meets Airline. You know what I'm saying? If anybody know what I'm talking about, you know, as soon as you get to New Orleans from Metairie, there's a bridge right there on Airline Highway, and it makes Airline turn into Tulane in New Orleans. So I was jumped right under there, right? And I died under that bridge. How I know I died was because the next thing I remembered after I blacked out was me in the air floating. I was floating, and then I realized I was in the air, and where that one bridge was at, it had a whole bunch of bridges over it, a whole bunch of them. I mean, it was like endless bridges. So my main focus was getting back down to the last bridge, the one I remember that I was under, right? So I started like swimming in the air trying to get back down to this one bridge where I knew my body was laying. So I jumped down from one bridge to the next bridge, and I kept jumping down until I saw a sign that said Airline Highway on one of the bridges. And I'm like, okay, I'm almost there. So I jumped down 3 more times. And that must have been when I jumped back into myself, into my body, because that's when I woke up in pain. I mean, I was in pain. And I just got on the bridge and started walking back on the Airline Highway. Now, I stopped at a Time Saver. There was a store called Time Saver. The irony, right? Once you hear the rest of the story, you're going to hear how ironic that is. I stopped at this store called Time Saver to get a drink, because I was cotton out like a motherfucker. I was cotton out. So when I got to when I walked inside the store, the lady that was behind the cash register was just looking at me like she saw a ghost, right? And even when I got up to the register with the drink, she was looking at me like she was looking through me. And I remember when I walked out of the store, the first thing I thought was, man, I wish I had a ride home, because I'm tired of walking. And no sooner as I said that, there was this black car that came up the wrong side of Airline Highway. I mean, the wrong side. And was coming towards me with the headlights on. And I saw the driver and the passenger in the front seat. They both had on hoodies, black hoodies, with black London fog caps. I don't know if y'all remember London fog. It was those caps that a lot of people used to wear back in the day. Stylish like. And a very distinct thing I remember about these two were I saw the driver's hands, and I saw both of their faces. That's all I could see. But they were not physical. They were like starlights, their whole bodies, like starlights. That's the best way I can describe them. Now, I got in the car, but the way I got in was like I floated in like I was Superman flying, right? And I flew in through the back door without even opening the door. The door did not open. I didn't open the door at all, and neither did they. So I found out later that I was abducted by so-called aliens, but I know they were light beings. So I was abducted by these light beings, and while I remembered this, I also remembered walking all the way home. Well, not home, but I walked all the way to my cousin's house, through the graveyard and everything. I remembered everything vividly as if I had walked all the way there. But I also remembered what I just told you, that I got in the car with these two beings. Now, when I got there, I remember I was knocking on the door, and my Uncle Snipper opened the door. He opened up the door, and he said, "Oh, what the hell happened to you?" And he called my cousin Corey. He said, "Corey, come help me get this boy inside." I said, I'm thinking to myself, help? I don't need no help getting inside. I mean, I can just walk inside. I'm all right. Like that, you know? Because the whole time, I was thinking that I was fully awake when I was laid out on the steps. I was laid out. And the only reason I know this is because many years later, I was 14 when this happened, but when I was like 21 or 22, me and my cousin Corey, we had rehashed the whole night. You know what I'm saying? And he helped me remember a few things. He was like asking me, "Man, you remember how you got home?" I said, "Yeah, I walked all the way home. I remember walking through the graveyard and everything." He said, "No, that ain't what you told me and Snip. You told us two dudes dropped you off." And my eyes started instantly tearing up because I hadn't forgot about this, you know what I'm saying? It's like, as soon as he said it, it brought it right back to my memory. And I didn't tell nobody, obviously, but them, because I had forgot about it. You know what I'm saying? As soon as he said it, I remembered everything, and I told him the whole story. I was like, yeah, I remember getting in the car and everything, but I didn't open the door. I was like, I flew in the car like Superman, and I didn't even open the back door. You know what I'm saying? And my head, it was like every time my head would be pussing in the back, like right here. I had a knot right there. And it'll get so big sometimes, it'll start pussing and it's stinking like a motherfucker. It's like I had to wash my hair constantly. You know what I'm saying? I found out later that's where they inserted the chip in my head. So, and I found all this out through telepathic means, you know what I'm saying? And it was like it's a lot more to that story, but I think I'm gonna write a book and put the whole story in there because you know, it's very hurtful to some people. So, you know, some people that were involved in the story, it'd be very hurtful, and I don't want to bring their names up on this video right here. So But it was like I found out later who those two beings were. And it was the two people that I was telling y'all about in the first two videos. It was the male and the female voice that I've been hearing since I was a child. You know what I'm saying? Which was, one was my ex-girlfriend who chooses to remain nameless, so I'll leave her nameless. And Shaggy, the one that looked like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, who turned out to be a full-blooded reptilian as well. So, I know his real name too, but I'm going to keep him nameless. We just going to call him Shaggy, you know. But they were the ones that saved me that night, brought me back to life and everything. I don't remember how the ship looked on the inside or nothing like that, but I do know I was abducted by them, you know. Story gets deeper, but right now, can't tell it. So, I'm going to leave y'all in peace with that. I'm going to come back with another story later. Because it's like, it's almost midnight right now, and it's time for me to get some shut-eye. So y'all be blessed and stay cool until the next video. Peace.